you can see the Nkuhumas on a buffalo kill at the morning. And what a fantastic start. This is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Hello everybody, how incredible is this to have stumbled across the Nkuhumas on a buffalo kill. We've even got 2 Birmingham males, but I just want to introduce myself to all of you. And my name is Taylor, and on camera this morning we've got Eggsy, or some of you may know him as Zander, but we're not going to be able to stay too long with these lions this morning. It's obviously going to be a very popular sighting, and it is on one of the boundaries. So I must tell you, we did find them this morning. How lucky are we? Because all their tracks were actually washed away. I had no idea that they were going to be in this area. This was just pure luck. And what a welcoming after the wonderful rains that we had last night, everybody. I know there were a few of you that were watching the dam cam last night, and thanks for all the comments. We are just as excited as you, and I cannot believe that the rain dance that I did last night actually worked. Isn't that amazing? So look at these guys over here munching away. They've eaten quite a bit of this buffalo. And for those of you who have just tuned in and maybe missed this, this is the Nkuhuma Pride. We are situated at the moment on Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands of South Africa. And it is freezing this morning. It's a real chilly winter's day. We've actually got 2 Birminghams here. The other one is quite hard to see. They're all scattered out in this area. And unfortunately, like I just said earlier, they are not on our traverse anymore. So we're taking a little bit of a long distance view. However, it's a good way to start the show by being able to see lions. I just absolutely love that contrast of the bright red and the lovely colors of the leaves on the ground, as well as that tawny color of one of the Birminghams. Isn't this amazing? So remember, if you'd like to get hold of us or send in any comments, you're welcome to either hashtag Safari Live, or you can email us at questions@WildEarthTV. Now have a look at those 2 little cubs on the bottom right hand side of your screen. Look how dirty they are. They are filthy. So they've obviously been in the stomach cavity of this buffalo. I can't tell you if it was a male or a female buffalo, because the head is on the other side, and they've sort of turned this carcass around now. I think they're going to devour this within a day, maybe a day and a half, but hopefully the rest of the Birminghams get wind of this and they can come and join. But isn't this wonderful? That is a beautiful shot. Like I said, those contrasts of those colors there are so dramatic. It's almost like the photos in black and white already. Wow, munching away. So the rest of the females have already laid down. I think they've eaten their full. So thankfully we've just got a few of them munching. Oh wow, look at the blood around that cub's face. Oh my goodness. They're going to have to do a lot of cleaning up today. I think they're going to need mom's help to restore their normal color. And it is freezing this morning. I can't tell you how cold it is. That drop of temperature from yesterday's lovely warm day to this morning is ridiculous. This is what it feels like in the Eastern Cape on a winter's day. Not what it should feel like in the Lowveld. Look at that, beautiful. So I'm envious of all of you that are tucked away watching in your nice warm beds. But I'm also not jealous in the same breath that I get to sit and watch this. Oh wow. There you go, it's another little one saying I'm ready to eat some more. Come on. And they've got to be careful not to get too close to that male. We were chatting about it yesterday, but the males don't have too much of a tolerance for the young cubs, and especially when there is a kill around. You could see he was quite happy with them feeding next to him, but they better not get too close. That one doesn't want to eat anymore. It actually looks like it just wants to play. These Nkuhuma females are just incredible. So Mauricia says that the rain didn't stop the Nkuhumas from hunting, and that's correct. I was just about to say, sorry, before I didn't finish my sentence, is that these females are the most incredible hunters that I've seen. Every time they go out to try and hunt something, they may miss a few times, but they are so persistent. They do not give up. They carry on until they catch something. So I wonder what time they managed to bring down this buffalo. Really, really great that we came around this way. And you know what actually happened? I must let you in on a little secret. I took a wrong turn. I wasn't looking at my map and ended up around this way. So it was by pure luck that I stumbled across these lions. How great is that? So thank you to the bush. You were very, very kind to me this morning. And you know what's so exciting as well, everybody, is in about 4 or 5 days time, there's going to be a lovely layer of green on the ground, and all the herbivores are going to be so happy. Everyone's going to get an opportunity to get some lovely, fresh, new grass shoots, which are going to be packed full of nutrients. And all the dams are starting to fill up. They haven't got too much water in. They've got a little bit. I think we probably had anywhere between 30 and 40 mils of rain. I haven't had an opportunity yet to check the rain gauge. Some areas have had 50 mils, some areas have had 40 mils, but I can tell you it is enough to put a good layer of grass down on the ground in the next few days. I hope you're all taking lots of screenshots of this. It's not often we get to see such an incredible scene. Really stunning. And it's nice and cool. Radio, everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to hang around with these lions for just a little bit longer. We're going to send you over to Jamie, who I know is itching to say hello to you this morning.
Positively itching because I am just dying to share my good mood with all of you. A very good morning on our cold, cloudy, windy sunrise safari. It rained! My name is Jamie and I have Dave on camera with me, and before we go any further, I would like you to all join me in a rendition of Happy Birthday. So happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear David, happy birthday to you. Yay. Happy birthday, Dave. Thanks, hip hip hooray! And it rained, and Dave wins the rain competition. We had 17 here. Buffelshoek had 40 on their side, which means somewhere on Djuma there was an average of 20 mils last night, which means Dave wins the rain competition and he wins the title of Weatherman. Yeah. Downpour Dave. Yes, he does. An absolutely marvellous start to the morning. Fell asleep with the sound of the rain pouring down on the roofs, and then the thunder and lightning. Luckily I've got my poncho, which fortunately comes in one size fits all, which means it accommodates my massive bulky frame. Then we're going to head out and see what we can find. I'm going to do a tour of the various dams just to see whether or not there's any kind of a difference. There you go. Wilding, Wyoming says happy birthday, Downpour Dave. Yes, indeed. I'm going to send you back across to Taylor. I can't really move much. I'm going to go sail away down the roads, and while I do, let's head back to Taylor and her lucky lions.
Look at how that little cub has just jumped onto the top of the carcass and found a nice little part to chew on. He blends in with the colour of the buffalo. You actually can't tell one from the other. They are so filthy, these little cubs. And that's the perks of being so small, is you're able to get right into little crevices that possibly the larger lions aren't normally able to get into. This is always my favourite part. Ooh. So I'm just looking, one of the other Birminghams is getting up. And I'm wondering if he's going to possibly go over to the kill now. No, he's sitting down. His face is looking very swollen. I think this is the male that we had yesterday that was with the Nkuhumas, just on his side of his face. Now he's going to sit the other way. You can see even he is cold. So on the side of his face he had it looked like he'd had a paw to the face, unfortunately. Let's have a look there. You can see the slight swelling, and it does look like it could be a little bit infected, but never fear, everybody. Lions are resilient creatures and he will be fine. It does just look like a superficial wound. But even other Birmingham, I noticed when he had his head up at one point, they all seem to have really big snouts, if that makes any sense. They're quite sort of robust. They're strange looking lions. I've never seen lions that look like them. You see that? Almost looks like they've all been stung by bees. We've got lots of other vehicles arriving. So we're not going to stay here for too much longer, I'm afraid. We'll probably stay for another 5 minutes or so. And then we are going to have to, unfortunately, leave these lovely lions. But I don't think they're going to be here for too long. They have devastated this carcass already. Look at that. It's like he's wearing lovely lipstick. All that bright red on his face. Oh wow, there we go. He's got a nice chunk of flesh. Good morning, Dory. I hope you are well today. Dory wants to know if this is the buffalo that was injured by the Nkuhumas a few days ago. Now, Dory, I am actually not sure. I spent quite a few hours looking for that buffalo, and he disappeared about 2 afternoons ago, and myself and Jamie were driving the area checking the drainage lines, and we couldn't see him where he's gone. We didn't see any vulture activity. We didn't really see too much hyena activity, and they would have been on a buffalo kill for many days if the hyenas had found that male. So maybe it is. However, it could also just be another buffalo. Like I said, I can't see if it's a male or a female. The head is on the other side, and it's also underneath the body. They sort of twisted this buffalo around quite a bit, so we're just able to get this little view through all the branches. Hello, have a lovely day. Just greeting all the wonderful guests who have come to visit us here in the Sabi Sands of South Africa. This, in my opinion, is the best area for any kind of game viewing, especially the big cats. Lots of lions, lots of leopards. I mean, as you can see, how's this? It's almost like every 3rd day or so we're seeing lions on a buffalo kill. How fantastic is that? Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to even try and get one little snap because that's too beautiful to pass that scene up. So I hope you are all doing the same thing back at home by taking some screenshots. Really nice. And you saw that other Birmingham boy too, how when he stood up, how he curled his body underneath his tail, his head underneath his paws. Wasn't that amazing? Right, everybody, we're going to have to say goodbye to the lovely lions and just give the other vehicles an opportunity to come and see this amazing sight. But hopefully we'll be able to come back a little bit later once everybody has pushed through the sighting. I think Jamie's got another cat for you. See you later.
Look at this. Look who's just come stalking out of the clouds. A lioness with a mouth full of blood on her way back to the rest of them. Where has she come from? Hello, girl. She just came out of nowhere, calling and roaring. Awesome. Absolutely amazing. How was that? All of a sudden the Impala were alarm calling. Let's reposition. Okay, and let me try and navigate with this massive poncho on. What an exciting way to start the morning. We're going to have to leave her because she's going straight to that sighting, which is already established. And when you are with a moving sighting and there's a static sighting, it's the people with the moving sighting move out. Ah, this is awesome. How is that for an image? Coming soaking wet out of the clouds. Ah, beautiful. Let's catch up with her. Trying to call it in, but I need a chance to chat. I'm actually going to get ahead of her. I'll reverse. Stations 1 with Fuzzy and Gala. Philemon's cut line, but she's highly mobile. She's going back towards that kill. Okay. This is where we leave her. Oh, she's calling. Soft and gentle roars. I wonder what separated her from the rest of the pride. Doesn't seem likely that she went for a drink. Because if she had, she would just have gone to one of the nearby puddles. Our mystery lioness. Let's try and catch up with her. We've still got a little bit of space before we have to pull out. Poncho driving. How many lionesses did Taylor have? That's interesting.
Can you hear her calling?
She's calling. This is awesome. She's looking for the rest of them. What on earth went on last night? Perhaps there's a second kill. Because it does sound as though the Nkuhumas have become separated. Okay, so Taylor had 4 lionesses. This must be the 5th. Standing by, Mike, and I will give you an answer to Sandy's question. Are you welcome to, Mike? Sandy, you wanted to know when a lioness walks past our vehicle, or a lion walks right past our vehicle. Sorry, she's still calling. Does it give us chills when they walk right by us and look into our eyes? Yes, absolutely it does. Not so much chills anymore. Obviously we get very used to it. But there is that, always that feeling when a lioness stops and stares at you. You're nearly there, girl. You're nearly there. When you really look into a lion's eyes, there is a very primitive part of you that responds. There's a part of us that was once upon a time on a lion's menu. In fact, we still are to an extent. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm just making the most of the sounds that we're hearing. We'll chat a bit more about that in a moment. It's very difficult at the moment for you to hear it because of the wind. The wind is gusting terribly. I'm going to move, so I'm going to turn on my vehicle now. Let's just see if we can't stick with her until she gets... I think we're going to lose her here. Obviously we can't stay with her once she reaches the kill. Just want to see which way she's going to go. She's very much on the move. Okay, that might have been our last glimpse of her. I'm going to try for one more. There's no point following her. We know exactly where she's going. She's going to... There she goes. Perfect hunting opportunity, perfect hunting weather, and the lions have proved themselves once again. Very atmospheric. She's going to pop out on Zoe's, I think. The direction she's going in. Oh, sorry, Dave. That was my fault, not Dave's fault. Unfortunately, we do know that we're very soft. If I take my microphone out of my hat, it loses its mind in this wind. It goes completely bonkers. So I'm sorry, I know we're very, very soft, but at the moment there's not too much we can do. I hope she's going to pop out on Zoe's. Ooh. No, stay. Let's see if there's a gap we can spot her through. There she is. Okay, this will be our last glimpse of her as she makes her way back towards that kill. The Impala are shouting their alarm at her. There she goes. Alright. What a nice way to start off the morning. Haven't we been incredibly lucky? I'm going to go back to Sandy's question in a moment because it's a good one. It's a very important one. There is that moment of connection that we have with lions when they look at us. I'm going to go the other way. The kill's here. We're not far from where Taylor was at all. There she goes. Oh, sorry. That was a bad call on my part. She just disappeared. Oh, there she is. Off she goes. Cheers, guys. Morning, morning. How's it, Mike? Okay. Sorry. That's the end of that. Yeah. I have no doubt. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna head off. We'll see you later. Cheers, guys. Oh, let me not... Okay, so back to Sandy's question. Actually, I don't think I answered properly, and I don't think I answered very well. When a lion looks at you in the eyes, there's a moment, there's the briefest moment when they look at you, and it's, especially at night, there's this connection that we have with them. As the only other social apex predator, we've been in competition with lions for hundreds of thousands of years, for a very, very long time. And there is an emotional connection when they look at you. I don't know how to describe it. Yes, sometimes it's chills. It does raise your heart rate. And I mean, we've had the lions walk right up to us and they look at you. I'm sorry, I've never bought into this whole idea of the car being a unit and they don't know you're there. Nonsense. Especially not if you have a child in the back of the vehicle. If the child starts to squeal or squawk or whatever it is that children do, you want to make sure that you've got a very safe distance between you and the animal and that the child is very well behaved. because that for a lion is a distress call. And I mean, Dave, what do you feel when a lion looks at you?
Heart rate up.
Yeah, it's automatic heart rate up, and it's not, for us it's not necessarily fear, because we do it a lot. I mean, at the moment we're seeing them every single day. But there is an intensity to it. No other animal looks at you like a lion looks at you. Leopards don't look at you like that, but lions do. And it's different for each and every animal. And I found it's different with male and female lions as well. I don't know if you feel that, Dave. There's an intensity to a female's look that isn't quite there with the males. And I don't quite know what that is. I don't know if it's the females with slightly more opportunistic nature, more hungry mouths to feed. I don't know what it is, but there is a difference. Alrighty, who's excited for a dam trip, a dam journey? Let's go check Treehouse and Twin Dams and Buffelshoek, see how much rain and whether we've had any kind of difference yet. Of course, we're not going to see any greenery just yet, 4 days or so, and the green grasses are going to start poking up and the leaves are going to start going green. That's so exciting. The other thing I'm terrified of, but I'm going to try not to let it impact me, is that we're going to have early rains and then dry December, which I'm really hoping is not the case. Righty, while we head off to Treehouse Dam to do a dam tour, let's go back over to Taylor, who is attempting to navigate.
I am definitely still trying to navigate Djuma private game reserve, but I'm getting better, and you can see my hands are now covered with Eggsy's wonderful gloves. Thank you, Eggsy, because they were held onto the steering wheel and I couldn't get them off. They were frozen. So I did see some very nice elephant tracks earlier this morning. We're going to go back to where I saw them and hopefully we'll be able to pick up. It looked like quite a big herd of elephants. A little bit further west of where we are, so I've got to do 2 turns left if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see. I might have to just pick up my phone again and just check where exactly I am on Djuma. I'm trying to remember as we go. Woo! Okay, a little bit bumpy. It's quite nice. So a lot of these roads have got quite a bit of sand on them, so the water has drained quite nicely, which is good. Obviously, there are now also some roads that we can't drive after we've had a certain amount of rain. Also, we'll try not to do too much off-roading today. It's never nice to just go and off-road for anything after the rain, otherwise you're going to leave big ruts on the road. Oh, we've got some, looks like some Natal Spur fowls in the middle of the road. Let's see if we can get a shot of them. Go stealth mode. Don't run away, we just want to have a look at you. No? No. I don't know if they want to be seen. You can see them just disappearing in the distance. So those are Natal Spur fowls. And they can be quite easily confused by the Swainson's spur fowl. But if you look very carefully at their eyes and their beak, if they were to stand still, now the Swainson's has got a red patch that comes around over the beak and sort of that front section of the face towards their eye. I find that's the easiest way, whereas the Natal spur fowl tends to lack that. You can see they weren't too impressed with the rain. They're trying to dry their feathers off. It must be quite chilly for them as well, but they will be happy because there's going to be lots of insects around, and I have a feeling that we're going to have an explosion of termites, of the alates, so the princes and the princesses of the termite mounds, and that's going to be exciting. Hopefully that happens in the next couple of days. So normally termites will release sort of the princes and princesses just after rain. The ground is then nice and soft, so they can also burrow down and start producing their own mounds, which is quite exciting. And with all of those insects, with all of those termites, remember I've been saying how high in protein termites are. You're going to get things like African civets, you're going to get genets, you're going to get all sorts of animals, and my favorite, the bushveld rain frog, coming out to munch on all these delicious treats. But we're going to carry on up ahead. We are still making our way to where I saw those elephant tracks. Ooh. Good morning, I Dream of Africa. What a stunning name you have. I Dream of Africa wants to know, with this amount of rain, will it bring any grass? And yes, it will. It's going to take a few days. Unfortunately, it's not instantaneous. But I reckon between 4 and 5 days' time, we will see some nice green shoots coming through the grass. And like I was saying, you're going to even start seeing the browsers coming out and feeding on those luscious shoots. They're going to be so high in nutrients that very few animals are going to be able to pass that up. Well, unless you're a carnivore, then you're probably not going to want to eat the grass shoots. Right, I think I'm supposed to be going this way. We'll drive on it for a little bit and just see where it takes us. And I hope you all enjoyed those lions this morning as well. That was very special. I know, very short and sweet, and it was just amazing just to be able to come around the corner and find something like that within the first 10 minutes of drive. That's what's so exciting, is that every day you go out knowing that you don't know what you're going to see. And I'm particularly excited for all the insects that are going to come out now, and the frogs, because there's quite a few different species of insects and as well as the amphibious creatures that I haven't seen before. So I'm going to have my notebook handy so that I can start growing my list. Right, everybody, while I try and navigate Djuma, I think Jamie's got the largest land mammal for you.
I do indeed, although it is amazing how the largest land mammal can disappear into thick vegetation, and our Ellies on this windy morning are disappearing off into it. I wonder if they're feeling particularly happy after a night of rain. Probably find that they are a little bit disturbed on a night like last night, with lots of thunder and lightning and plenty of rain. I think with all of the wind, it probably upsets them a little bit. And I have to wonder whether they know, they must know, that rain means good things for them. Surely they must. They must know that they're going to be able to have a change in diet, something better, greener, more nutritious to eat. And of course, water that isn't pumped from the dams and full of muddy hippo excrement. I'm sure they must know that. Is that all waxy build-up in her eye, or is she blind? That's interesting. Unfortunately, we can't get any closer to them, but I can't work that out. Does it look like she's blind in her right eye? It did look like that, didn't it? Oh, I haven't seen that many times in my life. A blind elephant, or at least with one eye with a cataract in it, because that's definitely what it looked like. It didn't look like the normal waxy build-up that you get in the corner of an elephant's eye. Interesting. Ooh, brr. It's quite a cutting wind this morning. I'm very happily munching away. Okay, we're going to try and reposition to get a different view of these Ellies. Obviously they're in some very dense vegetation, so it's difficult for us to see them. But a nice view for now. But I will try in a moment. I'm hoping they might be heading towards Treehouse Dam, although they're not going to be terribly thirsty right now. They're getting plenty of water off the plants that they're feeding on. There are lots and lots of puddles around. That female's a nice example of an old elephant. She's not big. It just goes to show that you can't always judge an elephant by its size. But she does have a very sunken temporal region. In other words, if you look there, the skin around the top of the eye, between the eye and the ear, has started to lose its elasticity and its subcutaneous fat, and starting to sink in around her forehead. And a little bit of bone loss as well. That's a very good way of aging. I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but it is a good way of aging an elephant. And it does give you a little bit of an idea that despite her relatively small size, that's actually quite an old female. See the fork-tailed drongos fluttering about as well. If you're sharp-eyed, you might see them. They're also going to be rejoicing after all of the rain. Insects coming out, fluttering about. That's not a fork-tailed drongo. Is it? Am I imagining? Oh no, that's just a piece of white. A white piece of branch. I thought for a second I had mistaken a southern black tit for a fork-tailed drongo. But I hadn't. We're okay. All good. Okay, let's try. There is a road that runs... There's still a road that runs a little bit further to the south. I'm chuckling because Rebecca just said, you still got it, Jamie. It's okay, you still got it. Thanks, Bex. It would be a little bit sad if I got a fork-tailed drongo wrong. A bird that we see all the time. Alright, let's try go around. Gives us a chance to see Treehouse Dam. Sure, look at all the groundwater. Isn't it amazing? All these puddles. Pinchy Wine is going to be happy. Pinchy Wine is the crab that lives on Zoe's Road. All of the animals are going to be happy. Might mean for us that sightings get a little bit more tricky. It does mean that our sightings might get a little bit more tricky, since the animals don't have to all gather round the dams anymore. They can just stop and drink wherever they want to. Stop and have a jolly good wallow, perhaps, in these pans. This isn't quite a pan. I wouldn't go so far as to describe it as a pan. It's a wallow. A puddle. A very big puddle. Michael, I think, is asking a question that's on everybody's mind. Although we are so thrilled with the amount of rain that we've had, Michael would like to know, does this mean that there will be more on its way, and is it enough to end the drought? What we need is this was perfect. This rain was perfect. It was a lot of rain, but it was nicely spread out throughout the evening, not a massive downpour that then washed away all of the topsoil, because of course the topsoil has got no grass to hold it in place. But what we kind of need, to be honest, to really make a difference to water supplies and to groundwater supplies is this for 2 weeks. 2 weeks solid, just constant on and off. Not quite drizzle, just a little bit heavier than drizzle. That would be exceptionally pleasant. The problem is we could get early rain like this and then have a boiling hot October with no rain. And October's usually the hardest month in the bush. It's very, very hot, and it's usually just before the rains have started. This is early rain. We had, at the start of this drought, not last year but the year before, or not last rainy season but the rainy season before, this is exactly what happened. We had September rains, and then nothing else afterwards. Hello, Impala. Yes, you're the ones that told me that the lion was there. Looking a little bit damp. I'm sure they're not going to complain though. Here we go. And Jaina, you wanted me to explain why I don't want a dry December. And the answer to that is because December is our hottest month. October, November, December, January are, obviously it's midsummer for us, it's our hottest time. So what that means is that if we have a dry December, if every day is almost guaranteed, unless it's a day like today, it's almost guaranteed to go above 30 degrees, so 86 Fahrenheit. Most of the time it's closer to 40, and quite often it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to make sure I get my Celsius and my Fahrenheit not confused. Just heard the elephants again. So if it does stay dry in December, then we lose a huge amount of water to evaporation. That's all it is. We need kind of a constant. Our normal summer rainfall pattern is a hot day, and then it breaks in the form of a thunderstorm, and that is almost it's a nice, almost invariable pattern. At least 4 times a week you'll get a nice big thunderstorm, cloudburst, and then you've sort of fixed the the water or replace the water that's been lost to evaporation. I'm hoping this isn't just early rain. I'm going to stay optimistic. It's very nice that we've had it, and it's very necessary, so I'm not complaining about it at all. It's just that this has happened before. To make up for the drought, we do need a steady, constant rain for a long time, and it kind of needs to be spaced out throughout the year. What do you think, Impala? Do you think they're just happy, I think. They just know that there's going to be fresh green grass. Nice, something nice for them to eat. A little bit more pleasant. Even if that means putting up with being a bit damp and cold for now. You can see they are a bit damp. All fluffed up and soggy. Cool. Right, let's go to Treehouse Dam. Let's go see how much water's there. We're not far from it at all. And it's one of Karila's favourite haunts, so you never know. Apparently a Vula was there. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Apparently a Vula was around there yesterday. Oh. Well, before we do that, let's look at the other antelope species that's been hiding here the whole time. There's a Kudu. Also all fluffed up and slightly damp. Lovely. All the animals seem to be out in full force. You know it's a chilly morning when the guides are already stopping to give their guests coffee. I can just hear it coming through on the Game Drive channel. Right, onwards to Treehouse Dam. In the meantime, let's hop on board with Taylor, find out what she's up to.
We have found some go-away birds this morning, and they look freezing as well. Look how fluffed up they are, very much like the Impala. I think that's what all the animals are going to look like today, is fluffed up. You can see them holding on for dear life as they blow about in the wind. Normally at this time of the morning you'll usually see the go-away birds sitting on the tops of the trees trying to sun themselves and warm themselves up, but this is not the case this morning. I think we're going to see quite a few unhappy birds this morning. Remember yesterday I was chatting about becoming birders and how important it actually is out in the bushes. It's a nice filler. So anybody that hasn't started a bird list, this is a good opportunity too. We've got some go-away birds. We also had some Natal Spur fowls earlier, and we'll try and find as many birds as we can today, though unfortunately the sky is not the greatest. You can see it's very grey, so hopefully we'll get them down in between some shrubs and we don't have to look at them against the sky. Otherwise we're just going to be doing silhouettes of birds. Then I suppose we could be practicing your birding specialist course. Then that's something that you have to do when you want to become a birding specialist. They do all these different types of crazy tests, one of them being identifying silhouettes of birds. Blair, good morning to you. I hope you're keeping nice and warm wherever you may be. Blair wants to know what that bird is that makes a strange popping, and well, it makes a strange noise and makes a popping noise at the end of its call like champagne. Now that is a black-bellied bustard. Should we have a look quickly? Let me find it in my book while you have a look at the go-away birds. Let me show everyone a photo. I think I've come unplugged. Yes, I've unplugged myself. You can just give me a few moments. We're also trying to hold down the rain covers this morning. They are blowing about in this wind. Let's see. B for bustard. Where are you? I need to start learning the pages. I think that shall be my next goal. There we go. 156 is the page. Everybody take note so you can let me know for next time. Hang on. I'm almost there. And here I am. Can you see it? This one over here. That's the black-bellied bustard that has the very champagne-like call. It's a strange noise. I'm not going to try and mimic it this morning because my bird calls are not that great, unfortunately. Well, it'll maybe be quite entertaining for all of you at home, so I'll see. Maybe I'll try and work up the courage this morning and try and do my best bird calls. But let's carry on. I have no idea where I'm going this morning, everything is falling apart today. Eggsy and I are just really going for a bumble. I don't know if we're going to see any leopards today. I haven't seen any tracks. Obviously, like I said earlier, tracking is quite difficult just because of all the rain that we've had has washed any tracks. However, if a leopard were to come out now and walk on the road, that would be great. That would make it very easy to track a leopard. Ground is now nice and soft. Stay down, rain covers. No. They're getting very excited, these rain covers. They're flapping all over the show, and it's quite funny to see that Eggsy is actually using the rain covers as a blanket this morning. I'm envious of him. Oh my goodness, everything is coming out. Wind is blowing my earpiece out of my ear. Get back in there. Naughty. It's supposed to come out. Been so well behaved the last few days. I think it's the gloves. I can't do anything with gloves on, everybody. As warm as what they are, they make me a hopeless human being trying to navigate. But Eggsy, they're amazing. They're keeping my hands nice and warm. Really not prepared for winter. I thought I was coming back into the summer, but obviously with the first rain of the season, which I'm so chuffed about, I suppose I can't complain too much. Right, let's go on. There's some roads I'm not allowed to drive. Let's just make sure. Let's go down this one. Just stay safe. We're going through quite a bit of water, as you can see. Go through nice and slowly, as I don't want to cover Wendy in too much mud. She is a lady, of course. Right. Eggsy, what are we going to look for now? Crocodile. Eggsy says we're going to look for crocodiles. I don't know if we're going to find any crocodiles. It's a bit cold. We may find some logosauruses this morning, though. I think that's a definite that we will see some logosauruses. Let's go through nice and slowly. Woo! This wind has got an absolute chill to it, and I'm looking for my frogs, everybody. I can't find the frogs just yet. I'm hoping by this afternoon, if it does maybe warm up a little bit, we'll get some. Good morning, James Richard. So James is asking that I keep my eye open for an African giant land snail, which should come out after this wet weather. I will definitely try and find you one this morning, James. If not, we'll try and look for a shell. That might be the closest. But it's also very important now that we have had rain. You'll see I'm watching the road extremely carefully, more so than what I normally would, because things like terrapins and tortoises and the frogs are all going to start to come out onto the road, and they'll go into these little puddles that you're seeing in front of us, and I don't want to drive over them. So you've got to be careful. You're looking for any ripples in the puddle that may indicate that there's something inside of it. Very quiet so far. It's just the lions that seem to be out this morning. Right, where are the animals? Well, we know we're one less buffalo. Nothing around here. Let's have a look at this tree to the right. I'm going to try and find a nice little spot here. Should we play a quiz? I actually spoke about this tree yesterday. Let's see if anybody remembers. What tree do we have here? You can see those lovely green leaves. And once you've had a look at the green leaves, if you can go down the base of the tree towards the termite mound. And you see that? Remember, what trees did I say yesterday that quite enjoy growing out the tops of termite mounds? And you see that goes all the way down and into a big termite mound. I'm going to leave that as a quiz, and hopefully some of you will get it right. And I'll give you one clue, and that's it. This tree also gets little red flowers. That's it from me. So have a good look, take a few screenshots. You're welcome to use a book or you can ask Google too. And that will be, I don't know what the prize will be, you'll get bragging rights, you'll be the tree queen or king. Right, let's see, I don't know where we're going. We'll just take this road and we'll just see how it goes. Who have we got in front of us? We've got a Crested Franclolin, everybody. And you see him over there? We've got two Crested Franclolins pecking away. There they are. Good morning. So our list is growing, everybody. You can see them pecking away, getting any seeds, and I suppose now, like I keep saying, after the rain, I'm sure there'll be a few little insects that would have had their burrows flooded and are now having to come out into the open. Now they're going to go and dig like chickens under the leaf litter. But no, they're not calling for us like that Shelley's Franklin did last night. That was amazing to see as well. And off they go. So I hope you are keeping a bird list, everybody. We've had go-away birds, we've had Natal Spur fowls now, we've had the Crested Franklins, and I'm sure to see lots more. I can hear lots of birds in the distance. Now we just need to try and find them. And if they can sit nicely on the ground like those Crested Franklins just did, it'll be a great burning morning, and we'll be able to see them in all their different colors quite nicely. Okay, so someone else has driven on this road, which is good news for me. It means that I'm supposed to be driving here. A little bit of a bump. You take it easy. Whee. So the driving in this area is much easier than what it is down in the Eastern Cape, where I'm originally from. There's a lot of clay in the soil, and it's quite mountainous down in the Eastern Cape. So it made it very interesting when we had, if we had the same amount of rain, so if we had 40 mils of rain, that would it would really test your 4x4ing skills. Just heard quite a few birds chatting over here, trying to see if we can see any of them perched on the trees or on the ground. Sounded like a kingfisher that I was hearing, possibly a brown-hooded. Let's see, no, nothing that I can see just yet. But Eggsy's also scanning about, helping me look for the birds this morning. We haven't actually even seen any Impala yet, which is unusual. Normally we see them everywhere. I don't know where I am. I think I must maybe just have a quick look just to double check. We've got, are you going to stay? Are you going to fly? Don't fly. Just be, no, never mind. The turtle dove that I was going to show you disappeared. We'll carry on. Oh, hang on. We've got lots of birds here. All in these big jackalberry trees that you can see. See who we've got. Just trying to get a nice little spot for us quickly. Oh, look at that. Look at this behavior. I don't know. Can you get that, Eggsy? It's quite high up. I'm testing your angles today. We do have two go-away birds up in the tree, but they were quite playful with each other. You can see them just to the top left there. See them? Have a look. Oh no, we've only one has jumped low down on the branch, but they were sort of pecking each other, which was quite funny, and one was letting off a bit of a call. They seem to have settled down quite nicely now. There are lots of go-away birds. We've even got a hornbill that's come in and joined us. Can you see just right there on the right-hand side, on the edge of the tree? So everybody, we're at high angles this morning. We're just trying to manage everything. So if you go a little bit higher, I think. I'm trying to find it. Hang on, let me reposition because it's hiding away quite a bit. We got it. There it is. Whee! I went into... Sorry, I tried to move the vehicle and I went into a bit of a puddle. Here we go. So that is a yellow-billed hornbill that we are looking at. And I doubt we'll be able... There it flies and off it goes. Typical. Let's go around to the next jackalberry because there's lots of birds bouncing around in these trees, which is fantastic for us. I'm very excited. A birding morning on this freezing cold day. Up we go. I'm going to stop, have a look what's going on over there on the edges. There's lots of different birds. I can see some starlings and some more hornbills and some go-away birds. You can see them there. So we've got the hornbills on the yellow-billed hornbills jumping around up top. Probably a male and a female. And then if we go down a little bit, we've got go-away birds. And I did see a starling, but I don't know where the starling is gone now. Oh, there it is. Which starling do we have over there? Can I see your face? No, I'm going to fly away. It looked like it could have been a Birchall starling, but I didn't have a proper look at it, I'm afraid. And normally at this time of the year you're seeing a lot of fruit in the jackalberry trees. I haven't really seen too much of it yet, but I think the birds and the monkeys possibly have gotten to these trees before I can, and I love the fruit of the jackalberries. And I haven't seen too many fig trees around here either. Who's that? Is that one of our friends, the starlings? They look so funny because we can't see the iridescence that's coming through on their feathers. Yes, is it that or is it a drongo? Hang on, I can't see it properly from here. What does everybody think that is? Do we think it is a drongo or do we think it is a starling? Look at us again. I think it's a starling, just because from the shape of the beak, but it is difficult, like I said. Drongo's beak tends to be a little bit more hooked than that, but I could be wrong. Let's see if we can get a better angle. We can go around the corner over here, and hopefully they decide to stay. Looking up top, let's see. Yes, it is a starling. I don't know if you can see any better, but I could be wrong. It could not be. Maybe it's not even a Birchall starling. It's hard to see against the sky. See what I mean when I say birding is not the greatest when you're looking in the sky, when it's got that horrible grey background. Okay, well I can't, now it's hiding its face, so I can't give you an exact answer as to what that actually is. Can you please move? It doesn't look like it has as long of a tail, so maybe it's a Cape glossy starling. And I'm just trying to listen. I think I've got another starling that's maybe in better view. Let's move forward again. Very active here. Oh, hang on. Wait, before we go to the starling, we can see the go-away bird actually dangling from the branches just over here. And you can actually see all the jackalberries. You see that one that was jumping around there. There's lots of jackalberries on this jackalberry tree, obviously. Can you see them there? All those little round balls. Those are the fruit. Now, some of them look quite green, so to me, that is saying that they are not quite ripe yet. They go a lovely yellow, golden yellow color, and that's when they are at their tastiest. Often I like to pick up the ones that have been on the ground and fermenting for a little bit. They're quite nice to eat. They've got quite a few seeds in them. So you often see things like the jackal and the civets eating all these things. You see the seeds. You see all those seeds in their dung. Judy H, Marianne, Morning Glory, you are indeed correct. So they guessed that the tree was a weeping boerbean, and congratulations, that it is. The jackalberries and the weeping boerbean too. Sometimes they can get confused. Are the ones that we often see growing out of termite mounds, and then you can see a Cape glossy starling dangling on for dear life, also trying to peck at all the fruit that's growing on this tree. I'm going to just sit quietly. I want to see if you can hear all the birds that are shouting around, so I'm going to be quiet for just a few moments. Can you hear any of that? Wonderful, that's good. I've just got some confirmation that you can. There's a hardy-dar shouting in the background, and I think it's Natal Spur fowls that are also shouting, and I can actually see one roosting just straight ahead under a fallen log. I don't know if you can see that eggsy wave down from the tree. Wait, no, about in front of me. There we go. You see under that log, there he is. Hello, good morning. Having good luck with watching birds call. Now, of course, here we go. They're just chatting away. I love the speckling that they have on their chests. It's quite beautiful. And there's two of them that are shouting, but I can only just see one, and that's quite a nice little sheltered spot that Spur fowl has got out of the wind and off the ground, drying its feathers nicely. The other one has just popped out as well, but I think that other one is going to make its way towards this one that is perched on this fallen tree. But even the birds have to come out on these miserable days in order to keep eating. It's just amazing how nothing stops even when the weather turns bad. Everybody just keeps on keeping on. Goodness, there's lots of birds chirping. Good morning, Zach. Zach is a new viewer, so welcome to the show, and I hope you're enjoying it, and we're so happy that you've tuned in this morning. So Zach wants to know, do any of the animals get depressed by the weather? I think the cats do. I don't think the cats particularly enjoy getting poured on, especially with the rain that we had last night, and there was so much thunder, and that is obviously very loud. So I think the cats out of them all are the least happy when there's a lot of rain. Also the reptiles, they're going to have to stay in their burrows. They can't come out and warm themselves up. Depressed, I don't think you could call it depressed. I think they're just a bit disappointed. And also, unfortunately, we obviously watch the animals, but they can't really tell us. We haven't quite learned how to understand the animals, only by just reading their body language. But this morning, I don't know if you managed to see it, Zach, that the lions looked very upset. The ones that weren't eating, they sort of curled themselves and hid their heads underneath their paws. But while I find some more birds for all of you this morning, I'm going to send you on over to Jamie and see how she's going.
Well, I think we should give Taylor a little bit of a hand when it comes to our birding morning. It took us a bit longer than expected to get to Treehouse Dam because we had to attempt to try and fix my microphone, see whether or not we can get it working. So as long as I don't move or turn my head, we seem to be okay. Right, Treehouse Dam. And Treehouse Dam is absolutely massive now. It has been rebuilt up and redesigned and reconstructed, but it does have a considerable amount of water. And what's even better is that it's going to continue pouring into Treehouse Dam as it soaks out from beneath the ground. Oh, Rusty's taking us on a little journey. Let's see if we've got any terrapins. Have they got here yet? It's amazing how fast that will happen. I don't think so. I think that is a piece of grass or branch, or are those terrapins? Or is it mud? I think it's mud. Yep, I think it's mud, unfortunately. No terrapins just yet. It is amazing the speed at which terrapins pop out during the rain and head to bodies of water, whether they be puddles or anything else, which is why it's so important when we're driving through the puddles to make sure that we are quite careful about going very, very slowly, so that any terrapin or anything living in the puddles itself will have a chance to get away. Generally, terrapins just surf. We can't go around the puddles because it actually wrecks the roads. It creates a new road, and that in itself is actually more detrimental to the environment than anything else. Not much here at Treehouse Dam. It is going to be a quiet morning. It's just one of those things. Morning after rain is usually very, very quiet. Although the nice thing is, hopefully we could see some big cats on the move, perhaps a big dominant male leopard. Since all of their territorial markings have now been washed off the bushes in terms of scent, they're going to have to come and re-patrol their boundaries. Jeepers, Cheetah Plains had 48 mils of rain. That's amazing. If you have any further questions you would like to ask about our rainfall or about anything that you might see here, please do send them through hold on. There's too much talking happening there. On hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or email through to questions@WildEarth.TV. So if there are any people who are jumping on board the stream for the first time, perhaps this is your first experience with it, you are able to ask questions. It is interactive. But please do, don't be shy. Let us know where you're from if it's your first time watching. Even if you don't believe it's live. We've had that once or twice. It's hilarious to answer. So please, if you don't believe that we're live, please feel free to send through a question. My favorite one was when we were still starting in the dark in the mornings, and somebody sent through, "Ha! We've caught them out. First it was dark and now it's light." That is how mornings work. That's what happens when the earth rotates. It's very funny. Okay, Dave, we're on the lookout for birds this morning, apparently. Whoa. And trees, watch the tree. Somehow I don't think I should injure Dave on his birthday. No scratches from thorns today. Oh, Karen, hello and welcome to the sunrise safari. Presumably, the sun has risen at some point, we just didn't get to see it. He wants to know if there are any peacocks in the Sabi sand. And the answer is no, there aren't. They are not indigenous to this area, indigenous to India. There are introduced populations of peacocks. There are some wandering around throughout Johannesburg as feral populations. People buy them as pets, and then they have released them, or they've released themselves, given that they are birds, and they can fly, even if it's a clumsy flight, into the wilderness. And while we look at these waterbuck, I just want to find a picture of something to show you. Get all my books out of their waterproof box and just have a look. They look happy with life. They're prepped for this, as waterbuck. Dealing with the rain is something that they do quite well. They've got that oily cover around their coat which helps to waterproof them. And actually, it might be my imagination, but these guys look a little bit drier than the Impala do. And that's just because they're adapted to live in water. Not in water, they're not like penguins. But they do spend a lot of time wandering through rivers and into dams. There's nice soft vegetation, hence the name waterbuck. Less so in the northern Sabi sands, but they definitely do move about in water. So in order to prevent their fur from getting waterlogged, they have a nice oily waterproof substance on their fur which keeps them nice and dry and smelly. Right, Karen, have a look at this. We might not get peacocks here in South Africa, but there is something called a Congo peacock. And as the name suggests, it is endemic to the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is the male. It's okay, it's not quite the long streaming tail of the peacocks that we normally think of. There's also, that's what the female looks like, just up a little bit. That's the female. I love the head spike, don't you? Isn't that amazing? I've never seen a Congo peacock. I love the tufts on the top of their head. They're hilarious. Head tufts, the book describes them as. Foraging on the rainforest floor, and very little is known about them. And then, this is my favorite thing to do with bird books, the description of a bird call. And this is quite funny. I think Taylor could chime in with this as well. Whenever you read it, unless you've heard the bird call itself, it doesn't make any sense. So the voice is described as a repeated duet, go away, go ah, go away, go ah. Let's do the next one. Actually, this is quite a fun game. That's the go away, go ah sound. I sort of get the idea. Let's go down to our helmeted guinea fowl. So the one that we see, a loud kick kick ka, or ke ka, or a monotonous repeated kridi kridi, or an alarm note kick kick kick. If you've never heard a guinea fowl, I'm sorry. I love bird books. I love the ornithologists that put bird books together, but if you've never heard that bird before, that makes absolutely no sense at all. I want to look up hardy-dock, although hardy-dock's a pretty easy one. So a guinea fowl actually goes, So I think that's what they were describing with the monotonous repeated cridi, cridi. And then the kick, kick, kick alarm call is when they go kak, 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 and so on. You get the idea. So the way that bird calls are written doesn't necessarily translate into real life. Bill, he wanted to know on the subject of sort of common town birds, although I'm not sure, I suppose I wouldn't call a peacock a common town bird. Do we have any crows? Yes, we do. I've seen them twice while I've been here. Once was scavenging off a buffalo carcass with a huge amount of vultures, and the second was when I was doing a bushwalk sometime. When we said we saw trumpeter hornbills, if you cast your mind back to whenever that was, it all blurs into one. Then we saw crows flying overhead a couple of times. So we do get pied crows. They are ubiquitous throughout the world, I think. They just seem to be everywhere, highly, highly adaptable. Most of the time, though, you'll see them if you drive through the townships or through the town itself. Then you'll see far more of the pied crows picking off roadkill and so on. So yes, we do get crows here. I wonder what the book says for a crow call. Hold on one moment. Crow, sea, Sesticular, cliff chat, crake, crombic, crow. 388. A loud quah or quirk. Quah or quirk. Quirk. How would you say that, Dave? Krook. That's much nicer. Krook. Loud quah or quirk. There you go. One more, just because I'm entertaining myself now. Let me just look up pearl-spotted owlet. I want to see how they describe that. One of them, the chin-spot abatus, is described as saying 3 blind mice, which, if you have never heard it before, does not make any sense at all. When does O go in the alphabet? Owlet. Pearl-spotted 244. I'll pop this back on the dashboard. Make Dave's life a bit easier. Right, our little pearl-spotted owlet. That's what a pearl... Oh, sorry. Yep, there we go. All done. That's what a pearl-spotted owlet looks like. And then it says, a series of low toots, rising in pitch, too, 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 too. Then a brief pause, followed by, okay, piercing, down-slurred whistles. Chew, chew, okay. That's actually quite a good one. Fair enough. That's not a bad description. I want to see if Taylor's got any more that you might think of. While we drop to head off and check on twin dams, let's go back across to Taylor, see what she's up to with her birding.